Hello, I'm back with another build video. This one is updated for our new world Aeternum. There'll be no gameplay this video. I'm just gonna in-depth go through my gear and talents and all that, and then I'll probably upload a separate video with gameplay with like commentary over it. Just the build for this video. So I'm playing Firestaff Abyss still, if you've been keeping up. But I'm using the Azar conductors and the elemental band. So this is the attributes. Full 200 con rest int. I just want to like point out that int does have a lot of dot increases and crit increases, which is good for both these weapons. And it will like tie into the build later. So this is my Firestaff tree. Now you see I won't go over everything, but the stuff I feel is relevant. So I take extra smolder stacks when I can. Extra damage obviously, and then you'll see I'll try grab empowers wherever I can. Rune of Helios. And then burnout for movement. So this is my Firestaff tree. The Greataxe tree is pretty similar. I'll grab empowers wherever I can. Crit boosters here. And this is also empower, so just in the tree itself, if you get full stacks of greed, you can have 30% of empower for the Greataxe. And then Maelstrom. This guy and this guy. So on my Firestaff, I'm running Disdained Affliction, Frost Attunement, Keenly Jagged, but that's just because it came with the Firestaff. If I had the choice, I would go play crits. And then you'll see I have a Nature's Rune Glass. This is because Elemental Band is currently bugged, so even though it has this extra line here, does not trigger on damage times or attunements. It actually is doing that, so one attack with this Firestaff is going to give me 4 stacks of this, which is 16% in power. So this build has high in power over all the weapons, which you really want to have that when you play these pants, because the effect Magician's Boon is actually a base damage increase, which means you can get 50% in power and then this on top of that, which you almost can't get anywhere else except for winged boots. But winged boots you have to be permanently hasted. So with these pants and the fact that I can stack high in power on this build means I'm essentially a medium weight tankiness, but I'm doing the damage of a fully empowered light player. So that together is what makes this build really strong. You'll see I'm playing the Abyss. The reason I like the Abyss is because the Greataxe has lots of built-in empower, which is like synergistic to this whole build. And it just pairs well with the Firestaff with the int. I have Reap here. Now, I think it's okay, but if you wanted an alternative, you could just run Vicious on the Abyss. Or even Penetrating the Empowered, because apparently that's also bugged, but I would go Vicious, because I like to go off tooltips. And then put Reap on the armor for a higher damage version, but my Abyss has the Reap. So for the armor, my basic, I guess, checklist is I want either Elia version or Enchanted Ward. Then I want to get weapon perks that I want. Then after that, I would usually like Void Harnessing. But you'll see I don't have it here. This is just because to get that piece, it's really expensive. So because you would have to do a full Gorgonite craft, which is a lot of money. So this one I just re-rolled the last perk to Pillar. But Refreshing is like pretty good too, so I just took that. Frigid Dawn is still really strong. So I have one Frigid Dawn piece. Well, actually I have two, but I'll come to the boots later. I have Shirking Heals on here, even though I just said I would like Void Harnessing where I can get it. But that's because I'm playing Healing Breeze. Now Healing Breeze is bugged again, so it's proccing off Shirking Heal. So I have one Shirking Heal just to proc Healing Breeze, and this does give a lot of healing. But I feel like this is a war perk. So if you're purely an OPR player, you might like Mortal Empower better here, because Mortal Empower in OPR, it's like quite easy to get stacks, whereas in war it's a bit more difficult. So I go for Healing Breeze, but you could go Mortal Empower here, and then you could get a Void Harnessing here, for example. Oh, and this is Amethyst. So all Void damage will fully account to the Abyss, and then halfway to the Firestaff. Oh, and I'm fully Void gemmed. So this one I did a Gorgonite craft. So I have Fireball, Void Harnessing, Elia version. I got my pillar here. Obviously the artifact pants, these do not come with Elia version, so the perk I put on was Elemental Aversion. I personally think this is the best damage reduction perk in that bucket, but Enchanted Ward is fine if you prefer that too. You would just have to change your gems a little bit. Now this piece right here is currently a Frigid Dawn. I haven't rerolled this, but if I did, I would put Void Harnessing here. But the worm drops a heavy boot, which is, I don't know all the perks, but it has Keen Speed on it. And Keen Speed should only be a weapon perk. So I'm planning to replace these, which is why I'm not investing, but this should also be a Void Harnessing. My amulet is just the okay one. I would like Slash Con here and Stam Recovery here, but this is okay. Okay, so the Elemental Band is my jewelry artifact. Now, this is really strong. Even if it wasn't bugged, I would still trigger 2 because I would have fire and void damage. So I would still get 8% in power, but normal rings cannot roll keen and damage type. So the fact that I get both on a ring when both of these weapons really enjoy crits is just super synergistic. Also, it rolls Hearty automatically. So it's also like Biss, like 3 out 3. And then you can choose your last perk, which I put Healing Breeze. And then my earring, I think this is full Biss. Refreshing Toast, refreshing is good on the earring because earring perks in general are worth a bit less. And then because I'm medium in this set to activate this effect, Fortify is like quite good on me, so I've gone Fortifying Toast as my last one. You could go Empowering Toast if you want, but for me, like when I drink a pot, it's usually because I'm taking damage, and that's when I'll want Fortify. I'm not a fan of potting for damage, so I just prefer it this way. So if we count up all my empowers, I get 10 from my Rune Glass. I should have at least 2 Void Harnessing, so I would have 14 from here. Worst case scenario, I would have 8 from here. That's 22% in power already. Then you have to include Honing Stone, which is 7. So I have 22%, no, 29% in power, and then the Void is halved on this. But we're mostly focusing on our axe damage anyway. However, if whenever your rune is up, plus these two, you will also get max in power on the Firestaff. And the Greataxe, 15 is auto. So the Greataxe is already on 44% in power. And then if you do 1 light attack, you're max in power. So it's really quite easy to get maximum power on both of these, which in my opinion is the only, well, not the only, but it's like the main reason you want to play these pants is to abuse the fact that this effect here is a base damage increase. If this was just Empower, then obviously I can't go above 50%, it wouldn't work. But at the same time, if I was nowhere near the Empower cap, I would have better choices and I could still go light. For example, I could just run Tumblers, gain 15% Empower, get the heal, get everything else, and I can be light. So when I was factoring everything into this build, I needed weapons that could easily reach Empower cap. So these two satisfied that. And then the Heartrune I play is Brutal Dark Ascent, which you might not see too much, but the reason I play this is it scales really well off damage. And this is a pretty high damage build, even though I'm medium, because of all these empowers. And it does void damage. So all these void increases that are working for my axe and half of my Firestaff are fully working for this. So I've seen this hit, look, 3000 base. I'm on average, let's say 30% empowered for my void damage if I'm like 2 stacks on my ring, so. But this also, by the way, can crit too. Yeah, I hit like 5000 on this, and then it AoEs and heals me for everything, so this is really strong. Oh yeah, another alternative, by the way, for healing Breeze is Purifying Heart. Or Mortal Empower, I don't know if I mentioned that. And then finally, my resistances are... It's a really high slash meta because Sword and Shield and Hatchet are really strong, so I have slotted Moonstones instead of the normal Frost Protection that people did the last patch. And then obviously I have a lot of Elia version, and then my amulet is Fire Protection, which is boosting up my fire resistance, which is like the main magic damage. I'm mostly resisting slash and fire, the current meta weapons. Yeah, that is my current build for New World Aeternum updated. I'm gonna do a separate video where I'll commentate over maybe an OPR, but probably a war, and I'll go through like what I'm looking for and combos and stuff like that. But I think I didn't want to make this video too long because I wanted to go quite in depth of like why I chose certain things like stuff conductors. But if you want to see me play, you can wait for that video or just come watch me. Twitch TV/Charlie T. I'm live pretty much every day nowadays, so come catch me there and ask me questions here in the comments or there. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.